Now, the countdown to the King and Queen's historic trip to Canada started today with a visit to Canada House in central London. The building, which houses the Canadian High Commission, was opened 100 years ago by the King's great-grandfather. This time next week, they will be in Ottawa for the opening of the Canadian Parliament. Here's our royal editor, Chris Shipp.
Of the 14 realms outside the UK where the King remains the head of state, Canada is by far the largest, in fact, the second biggest country on earth. And if the King of Canada needed a reminder of that, a giant map was stretched out on the floor as he and the Queen arrived this morning. Their visit to Canada House today, home to the Canadian High Commission, was to mark two events. One was its 100th anniversary. Charles's great-grandfather, King George V, opened this building next to Trafalgar Square in 1925. But today was also about looking ahead to next week. Next Tuesday, the King will open the new session of the Canadian Parliament after Prime Minister Mark Carney won, largely by opposing Donald Trump and his attempt to make Canada the 51st US state.
The Prime Minister has made it clear that Canada is not for sale now, is not for sale ever. The King, as head of state, will reinforce the power and the strength of that message.
I greet you as your Queen. Together, we constitute the Parliament of Canada.
Not since Queen Elizabeth in 1957 has a Canadian monarch attended the state opening of Parliament. Canadians have waited nearly 50 years for it to happen again, but just like his mother, the King knows he must stay above the political fray.
The King is very politically astute, and he'll know what to do and what to say and find the right balance. He is the King of Canada.
He's also the monarchy. He's the King of Canada who's invited Donald Trump for an unprecedented state visit.
Well, it's all part of relationship building.
Relationship building with both Canada and the United States is not an easy task, much for the King to think about on the plane next week. Chris Shipp, ITV News, Central London.